Alright, this is my cousin's CJ8 with a 327 in it, and I'm having a bit of carb trouble. It had an Edelbrock on it when I got it. That thing was pretty shit. I had this Holley 600 Street Warrior sitting up on my shelf, brand new, new in box, still in the bag, still the thing covering the horn. Slapped it on. And went fine. Started it up. It was alright starting it up. Drove it around a little bit, and it just seems to have this problem starting warm when it starts like it's got like vapor lock or something, where you gotta hold the gas open to get it to start. And we took it over to Chris's house. We found that the boosters were dripping fuel when it was starting and while it was just sitting after you just shut it off. So we pounded on the floats, but of course there's no adjustment on these at all. There's not even a sight plug. But we pounded on the floats a little bit, and the boosters seemed to stop dripping, but it still had the problem with starting up. And when you drive around, when you sit at a stoplight for a little while, you go to hit the gas and it just coughs for a second and then goes. Now, that was Sunday when I drove it around, but other than that, it drove fine. Started up fine, started up cold fine, put in gear fine. It was just starting and sitting when idling. But now I just encountered another problem. So today I was looking around, seeing what maybe my problems were, and this fuel line was a lot closer to that radiator hose than originally. So I'm like, well, maybe that's it. Maybe the fuel is boiling off the radiator hose there, and it's vapor locking. So I put a zip tie up here to kind of just pull it a little bit out of the way, but you can't really, because right at that tube, it's straight off the fuel pump. I need to get like a 90 or something, but that's as furthest as I can get it without kinking the line. And that's actually not real braided line, that's just braided covering. But without kinking the line, that's as far as I could get it. And I go to start it just like 15 minutes ago, and I come into another carb problem. I think this carb is junk. I don't know how. It's brand new. I've had it like a year. I got it at an auction, new in box. Like, even like the original Holley tape and everything was on it. But now I'm having this other problem where I go to start it and it's warm. You see, I'll hold the throttle open just a little bit, and the thing will rev up and then just like slowly die back down. And it shot flames like you saw, but that's what it's doing now, and I absolutely have no idea what it could be. I don't know if it's an internal leak or something. I know whenever we did you can kind of test the internal, if they have an internal leak, Chris was saying, by covering the vent tubes. And if you cover the vent tubes, the carb should shut off, because the fuel can't vent out of the bowls into the boosters or the idle ports. And if it can't vent like the fuel doesn't get in the engine and it shuts off immediately. But we'd cover these up and absolutely nothing would happen. It wouldn't even change. So Chris was saying maybe there's an internal leak, but you know, I have no clue because this carb's literally brand new. I got it from a shop in the Holley box, still wrapped up in all the stuff you normally get. This has never been on an engine. I even talked to the guy who owned the shop, and he said he had just got the carburetor. He hasn't even run it yet. So I have no idea. I did kind of do some looking around online to see if I could figure out, see about the fuel bowl, and I found this for 20 bucks off Facebook. This is another Holley 600 Street Warrior or whatever, same kind of thing, but it's got the fuel bowls that have the screw, the sight plug, and the adjustable float. The only difference is this has a rear metering block, while that other one has a metering plate. And so this line's longer right here. So I was gonna see if I could just run the old line on this. I don't know exactly how this comes off, but I was thinking just running the two bowls and using the old plate and rock and block. But this carburetor is, I don't even know how old it is. It's completely shot. Like there's nothing, like there's no spring on this. The plates are all rusty. Both these, it's got a vacuum diaphragm for the secondaries and the choke, and this is completely missing the choke assembly. Yeah, but I'm kind of out of ideas on what the trouble could be with this. I do need to get this Jeep back to my cousin because he kind of wants to drive it before spring or during spring, and it's not really a huge deal if this carb works or not, because I think we're gonna go with a different carb anyways. But I kind of wanted to slap this on here just to see how well this carburetor works, because this is a the right size engine for it, or at least based off the carb I pulled off. They're both, the Edelbrock was a 600 and this is a 600, so it seems like the right engine to put it on. It's just I'm having trouble with this one. Otherwise the engine has no other problems. It doesn't overheat, it doesn't ping, it doesn't have any charging issues. This was a perfectly good running engine when I got it, other than the carb trouble he was having with the Edelbrock. But yeah, I'm kind of out of ideas on this one, other than going and buying a new carburetor, which I kind of want to avoid as much as possible. But if any of you guys have any ideas on what I can do, just drop a comment down below and let me know, because it'd be very appreciated if I could figure out what is causing these problems. And that's all, folks.